Sup dudes, this is Jesus Loving Buddy. I'm making a video today about Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. It's freaking awesome. I'm going to concentrate on what he calls the ego. Now as I do this, I'm going to give it from three specific perspectives that I think a lot of people have. First being the Christian viewpoint, which I'm a Christian. I'm going to apply it to the way Christians think about stuff. Then I'm going to do it in a more of a pantheistic perspective, which is this idea that everything is God, that the universe is God, and we're all a part of God, but that God is not outside of the universe, unlike the Christian perspective that thinks that God is a being and he's outside and separate from the universe. And I'm also going to do it from a naturalistic atheist perspective, in which this viewpoint says there is no God. We all arose through naturalistic processes, through evolution, and things like that. So being a Christian, I'm going to explain what I believe through this video, but first I'm going to explain why I believe it. And I have this really awesome sheet called Jesus Loving Evangelism. I call it my mini sheet, and you can go to the link below or on the sidebar. I forget where it is now. YouTube changes stuff. And you can see these 5 facts as to why I'm a Christian and why, I argue from the Christian viewpoint. So check that out if you're into that kind of thing. If not, don't worry about it. And understand that I understand people disagree with me. I'm a Christian, other people are pantheists, other people are atheists, and other people are stuff I haven't even heard of. And, it's all fair game. If you'll turn to page 33/34, if you own the book, he talks about the ego and how it's worked into our thinking. See, he says the ego is this sort of warped thinking that is developed within us over the course of evolution, and it's something bad that is developed long time ago, either through people fighting through wars or hatred or whatever, and then it's just kind of escalated and it's got into our thinking. And something he says in his book on page 33, I love this quote, it makes so much sense to me. This book changed my life. He says, "Life isn't as serious as my mind makes it out to be." And he goes on to talk about how this affects our relationships and just the simple things we do throughout the day. Jim Carrey read this book, the famous actor, and he loved it. And he talked about how he would do something to subtly upset his wife, and he knew it would frustrate her, but she wouldn't say anything about it. But he said he would trace things in his mind and he would prepare an argument. And he's like, oh, if she bugs me about it, then I'm gonna hit her with this, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this. But then at the end of the day, he realized she never said anything. And he realized he had wasted so much time and so much energy with wasteful thinking. And that's really what Eckhart Tolle is saying. And see, this is where he gets in to talk about what he calls being. Being is also a word he would use for God. It's this universal force that is propelling life to go upward. It's pushing life to evolve physically, philosophically, and spiritually in all these different ways of our life. And he says when you get in touch with being, what you're really doing is, here's your mind and all the thoughts that you're thinking, but when you're in touch with being, you're outside of your mind and you're monitoring what you're thinking. So that way, when a bad thought arises into your head and can take you off in all this wasteful thinking that really has no purpose, you can monitor that. And you can realize, hey, that's a bad thought. I don't want to go that direction with my mind, and now I'm going to think about something better. It's really fascinating, and it changed my life, honestly. So what he's really talking about here is taking back your mind and using it for good, instead of randomly just going off and into this negativity and producing negativity in your mind, which overflows into your relationships, maybe even into your workplace. It's just having a better overall attitude. And this book really shows you how to use your mind to do that. It's really incredible. And something else he mentions about is, do you let things make you feel superior? Maybe you're a really intelligent person, and knowing things makes you feel superior than others, and you feel like you have the right to kind of lord that over people. Or maybe you're popular and you think you're really cool or whatever, and you feel like you're better than everyone else. Something for me that I really struggled with was beautiful women. I felt like, man, if I could get a beautiful woman, I was somebody. But then all of my time was going into working out in the gym, trying to become attractive and all these things, and I spent so much time and so much wasted energy in trying to attract these beautiful women. And a lot of these times I get to know them and I don't even really like them. I just pursued them because they were beautiful. And I thought, hey, if I get a beautiful woman, I'm going to be happy. But that was nothing but a lie. What it comes down to is your self-worth is not based off what you think you can do or who you think you are. For me, I believe it's your relationship with God. So what Eckhart Tolle is saying is destroy that pride, because it'll cause you to spend a bunch of time doing something really stupid like I did with working out, and in some cases you'll just become a jerk and nobody's going to want to hang out with you for however you treat them because of that pride within you. But how do we get out of this wasteful thinking? We have to recognize it and then rise higher. And this brings me to my next point, and it's the most my absolute favorite quote out of the entire book. On page 41, he says, life, and when he uses the word life, for him as a pantheist, it can be interchangeable with God in certain circumstances. So when I read this, I put God in the word for life, but I'll read it as he says it. Life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness, which makes you rise higher. How do you know this is the experience you need? Because this is the experience you're having at this very moment. What this means for me as a Christian is that every moment I have in my life, whether it feels it's full of pain or whether it's just full of boredom, whether I'm driving in the car for 9 hours straight, I know that every second of my life is purposeful, and God is inching His way closer to me, and He's using that to make me better, and that brings me such peace and such joy. Something I feel like God did for me over the summer was that I was pursuing these beautiful women, and I was working out really hard, and I've been working out for about 1.5 years, and I woke up one day and I had an issue in my groin, and because I didn't quit working out and because of all these things, my groin is still hurting, but it got to the point where I haven't been able to lift in 4 months, and I've lost all of my muscle. I've lost all pursuit to hang out with those beautiful women. And what God did was He just hit me, and He said, hey, you don't need to do this anymore. This has become an idol in your life. And He took it away from me, and I'm so glad He did, because I was becoming a person that I didn't want to be. I mean, at the time I was heartbroken, because getting ripped and sexy and hanging out with hot chicks was awesome. But now I realize that's not even what I want at all. Thus, I feel very loved by the Creator of the universe. But I think a way this would apply for the pantheistic perspective, which is kind of what Eckhart Tolle has, is that every moment this life force is driving you forward to make you better, to bring more peace and joy into your life, and to bring less negativity into your mind, and it just makes life smoother. He talked about flowing with life and just like down a river and smooth, and not fighting it, and just letting life happen. And knowing that everything that happens for a purpose. Now, see, for an atheist, I think it still applies, because atheists believe there's some sort of evolutionary mechanism driving us forward. Like, from right now, from what I understand, it's not necessarily explained, but there's something propelling us forward. It's something to make human society better, whether that's through technology or philosophy or relationships or whatever. Something is driving us forward, and I think an atheist can use this and say that every moment is purposeful for my benefit, for the people I love around me, and for society. We can grow and build and just create a world full of love and peace, and where people's needs get met, and where there's peace and joy, you know? Okay guys, I hope you liked the video. Please send me your video responses. I love hearing different opinions from different viewpoints. If you're getting this in an email, please email back. That would be cool. If not, whatever. Just tell me what your response is. Tell me what you think about this. How can we as a society grow higher to produce better things for everyone? This is Jesus Loving Buddy, and the His Out, but Shiz Out. Deuces.